Hello and welcome to this video and to another one that I've not done before because we're going to do a try a chapter video. So basically I've looked at the physical books I have on my shelf that I haven't read yet, and I've obviously made a priority for the gifts that I've got throughout the year, so I'm trying to get those read by the end of the year, and then there's a couple of other ones that I'd like to read by the end of the year as well. So because I've looked at all of those books and I've roughly worked out the pace that I'm reading at the moment, and assuming I stick with that, there's probably going to be a gap where I could put 2 books in it, and currently I don't know what to put there. So I've picked out 5 books that are all from the charity shop, coincidentally, but they're also probably the ones that have been on my TBR list for the longest, because I bought them towards the beginning of the year, except maybe 2 of them which were sort of summertime. So I thought we would try the first chapter, see which one pulls me the most, and then that will slot into my TBR for December. My channel is not predominantly books, as you know if you've watched a few of my videos now, but it is a big part of what I enjoy and what I do on a weekly basis. So if seeing my monthly TBR, what I'm going to read that month, is of interest to you, and it's something you'd like me to do in future, just let me know in the comments and we'll look at adding that into the schedule that I set myself, just so that I keep on track. But anyway, let's get on with the books and the reading and see how we get on. So the first one I've pulled out is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I don't know a lot about this book. I know it's more science fiction-y, and Hank Green is the brother of John Green, who has written lots of books like The Fault in Our Stars, An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, all of those, and I've read, I think, all of them, or pretty much all of John Green's books, so I've always wanted to give Hank a go, but sci-fi is not my normal genre. This is probably the newest book in this stack that I've got for you. So we're going to read the first chapter, which is 12 pages long, and then I'll come back to you and let you know how I feel about it. Apologies if the angles changed, my battery ran out, so I was charging that while I read the first chapter of An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I liked it, it made me laugh. Obviously it was introducing the characters of April and I've already forgotten his name, even though I've just read the thing, Andy, and the fact that they have found this gigantic statue thingamabob. There were a few bits that probably irritated me, which maybe shouldn't have. The fact that anytime the words absolutely remarkable, perfect, they were all capitalised. Maybe that will make more sense as if I continued to read the book. But as I say, it was a very sort of chatty, humorous style of writing, so I quite liked it. The next book we're going to try is The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kiran Millwood Hargrave. This is a book that my brother actually picked up for me from one of the tube station bookshelves. Again, I don't really know a lot about it. It looks sort of fantasy-esque, which again is not my typical genre, but we'll try the first chapter and then see what we think of that one. So this one we have, we've got a map. The text is bigger in this one. So we only have 8 pages for this one, so let's try that one out. So obviously this chapter was only about 8 pages long, so it's hard to get any idea of what the story is about, but also that chapter didn't really offer anything about what the story is about. It was just about the girl that's written in first person and her dad having porridge for breakfast before the first day of school. A lot of talk about different places and maps and things like that, so I'm going to guess it's sort of a adventure-y kind of story, but from that first chapter there was nothing really there to hook me into it. So of the two, so far this is at the bottom. Right, we move on to number 3, which is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I have read Eleanor and Park and Attachments by the author. I liked one, I didn't like the other. So we've got Fangirl now to try out, which is, I believe they're like twins, but they're going sort of their own separate ways, and one of them has a blog or a like fan fiction kind of thing. I get aspects of Geekerella when I read the back of this one. So the first chapter, let's hope it's quite short. I like the short ones. Oh, I like the art at the front that tells you who everybody is. That'll be helpful. Shall we? So we've got a part of a website, and then the first chapter is up to page 12. So we're going to give that one a go now. So let's see what it's like. So, the first chapter of Fangirl, we meet Kath and her twin sister Ren, who are going to college or university. I don't really get the American education system, if I'm quite honest, and they are twins. Ren wants to strike out on her own a bit more and have a bit of independence, and Kath doesn't. There was a good bit about her anxiety about moving into her new shared dorm room with someone that isn't her sister, which I found pretty good, as certainly when I went to university and I moved in, I was very nervous for that first day and not knowing anyone and all of that kind of things. So the feelings that she was writing there are very much my own. There's also a thread of a book series that she likes, and I'm guessing this is the fan fiction or the whatever that will become this whole fangirl thing. But I quite liked it. I'm intrigued to see how they're going to pull all the bits together. Right, penultimate book that we're going to look at is Wonder by J Palacio. I think that's how you pronounce it. So this follows August or Augie, who is born with, I think, some sort of facial disfigurement. I have seen the film of this, which is why I've picked up the book, because I really liked the film and wanted to know the story that came behind it, because films often miss out bits. So the front of it says, "You can't blend in when you were born to stand out." If it's anything like the film, it will make me quite sad, but it will be quite heartwarming. So the first chapter of this is called Ordinary and is a page, so they're all incredibly short, so maybe we'll read 2, which is only about 3 pages, but we'll give that a go quickly. as said, the chapters are very short, so I've read 2, but there's only about 3 pages long. But I wanted to carry on reading, so I think that's a good sign. The way this is written is very childlike, which obviously goes with the character that we're following, and already some of the stuff that he's saying in it is pulling at the heartstrings a bit. So considering I only have one more book to go, this is one of the ones that I'm definitely going to add to my December TBR. And I'm actually really looking forward to reading it now that I've tried the first couple of pages. I think it's going to be a delightful but maybe slightly sad read. So we finally made it to the last book, and that is The Light Between Us by Katie Khan. This has been blurbed by Matt Haig, and we like Matt Haig, and the tagline on the front is 2 lives, 2 loves, 1 chance to make it count. So if I remember rightly, but I bought this way back in January, so it's been a while since I've read the back of it. This is about, we might as well read the beginning of this. Thea and Isaac first met at university. Theirs was an instant connection, but never went further than friendship. Because then and now, Tia only has eyes for her work, not only her course, but her private project. She is determined to prove that time travel is not just the stuff of science fiction. So I think we've got a romance time travel book coming up here. So again, we'll try the first chapter. This, in comparison to a normal book, is much bigger. So that means the pages are going to take me longer to read. So hopefully it's a short one. We'll read the prologue, I guess, rather than the first chapter. Apologies for the slight haphazardness of this video, but I'm having a bit of a problem with my camera batteries. So you didn't see it, but I have read the prologue to The Light Between Us by Katie Khan, and it surprised me when I pulled out the 5 books from the box that lives under my table at the moment because of where we live. I was almost certain that this was just one to make up the numbers. But having read that prologue and the meeting of our 2 characters that I mentioned before, and the introduction of her interest in trying to prove time travel and all of that kind of thing, I'm really intrigued, and I think this will be a great book to read on a dark night and a dark December night. So I think we've actually come to a conclusion with this video, which again is something I wasn't expecting. But for my December TBR, which I think I have space for both of them, but we'll play it by ear depending on how my reading goes throughout the rest of this month and then December as well. But we're definitely going to try and get Wander on there by J Palacio, just because I really enjoyed the start. I read 3 pages and really wanted to carry on, and the voice of it and some of the things that were said just definitely pulled at the heartstrings already. So I'd like to get that one on there, and it seems like a relatively short, easy book to read. As said, all of the chapters are incredibly small, so it'll be quite pacey. And then, by quite a shock to me, the other one will be The Light Between Us by Katie Khan, which its downside is that it's a big book and it's actually quite heavy to hold, but just very intrigued by where this will go and how they're going to pull a friendship, semi-romance, time travel thing together. So we're going to try and get that one read too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and something a bit different from me, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. I will be reading the other 3 books that I've shown in this video at some point. When that will be, who knows at the moment, but the best way to find out what I think about them is to subscribe, because each month I upload a monthly book review, I guess, where I talk about what I've read that month and what I thought of them. So on that note, we're gonna end this video, so I will see you in the next one. Bye!